Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Infantry Pulse, and today we're going through the limited hero battles for July of 2021. So these are fun. I've been doing these videos for a couple months now. I just think that these battles are super fun because you can use units that maybe you wouldn't otherwise use that are, pretty good. So like, for example, here's my Brave Lysithea. That's not a unit that I really ever use in other contexts, so it's nice to be able to get to use her because she is like a very strong unit. She's just a little bit niche, she has to have that damage setup, which, Winter Bernadetta helps with a lot, obviously. So having Winter Bernie here is super great. Makes her really good against PvE content. Nukes down horses, that's kind of her MO, right? That's Dark Spikes. Super meme anti Death Knight in Three Houses of it all. We're also using Pelagian Dorothea here to dance up Lysithea, using her duo ability, as well as Dimitri, who is just kind of here to hang out, and that's okay too. Yeah, it's really Lysithea's map for sure. Going up against Gangrel here. So we're just going to kind of get out of the way, and then next turn we can use Lysithea to wipe the whole team. Something that people forget about with Lysithea is her follow-up is not only a desperation effect, like she doesn't get to attack before the enemy does, it's also guaranteed. So it has that like half, not really half null follow-up, but kind of half null follow-up in the sense that it breaks through things like Wary Fighter or other follow-up denials, things that like Saros has, all that kind of stuff. So definitely a good unit. In 13 months, in a little bit over a year, Lysithea, I'm going to call it now, is going to become one of the best units in the game because she will get her weapon refine, and that weapon refine will make her much, much more viable. Next up, we have Fae and Idunn versus the folks from Tellius. So we're going to use a Winter Altina cheese here, as I am wont to do in PvE content. She's super great at PvE modes. Obviously, she's super great at Aether Raids also, but definitely in PvE, she has the Vantage strategy. I'm actually using the build here that I use in AR offense, which is Attack Res Solo, Heavy Blade, and Odd Tempest. So all these things together really makes her easy to get into the enemy lines. It makes her very, very strong. She's just a super good unit. George behind her, supporting her, is also doing great. Ashera gave her universal buffs between her C skill and speed defense link, so she has +6 everything, plus all the extra attack that George is giving her through Daniel Made Bow and drive attack. So definitely strong there. Not strong enough to take out that blue dragon, but she's strong enough to live that blue dragon by a lot, which is totally fine, because then she's able to really do some damage to the rest of the team here. The only other unit that you maybe had to worry about was this blue cav, but he just gets one shot. Well, I guess two shot really, because of the Brave effect, but he gets taken out before he can do any kind of damage at all. Lethe is here to just be a reposition cav. That was just the reposition cav of choice. But I did try to use her on ARO. She's light blessed. I did try to use her on ARO when I was building a Gale Force team. I used her and Cordelia to kind of do some stuff when I was first experimenting with Gale Force. I never really used that team too much. I probably only used it 4 or 5 times in the entire time I had it. But it was Baby's first Gale Force team, so that was always fun. Alright, next up we have the kids from Archanea versus Eremiya. Eremiya? Never know how to pronounce her name. Doesn't matter. So this is basically going to be Norn things. Norn is just one of my favorite units in the game, so we feature her here. This frontliner is actually pretty thick here. He's got Sacred Cowl, and he has pretty high defense, so he's actually hard to bust through here. But still, we get through because Norn things. And then the other units are really there to play backup and also to play cleanup for sure. But yeah, Norn, definitely incredible unit. I've hyped up Norn. I still use her to this day. She is probably still my primary light carry. I have the save ball now. I have Young Leon. Between Young Leon and Norn, they pretty much clean up every single team. Especially especially Norn. She's just a very, very strong unit. So now we are going to go in and clean up. The weird thing about Pelagian Bow that maybe some people forget sometimes is you do have to be solo in order for the effects to work. So we got to make sure that Norn goes in first here, and then Merritt can follow up to take out the guard bow fighter here. But then from there, we can just enemy phase some more with ya boy Norn here. Yeah, Norn is thick enough to deal with all these units. Plus, she has noontime to heal herself up, and that's one of the reasons why I prefer Pelagian Bow to Spendthrift Bow. Obviously, Pelagian Bow has the solo condition, so that makes it, you know, a little bit different to use. But if you can achieve the solo condition, it oftentimes provides more stats than Spendthrift Bow, and it also doesn't have the negative cooldown effects of Spendthrift.
I must be careful.
So now we can use Merrick, who would have done this much faster had he not had his ARD set equipped, but whatever. We go in here and we can finish off this sword cav after a dance, and 2 triggers of righteous win there. So yeah, young Merrick, still good unit. Still love young Merrick, but Byleth came for his gig a lot, so yeah. Alright, next up we have the Sacred Stones versus Sigurd and Lewin. I haven't played this game, so I really don't understand the relationship between Sigurd and Lewin, but cool. This is actually going to be mostly Ephraim's fight, actually. So I feel like because Brave Hector is so great, like he's so good, one of the best units, if not the best unit in the game, we really overlooked Ephraim's Refine and Garm. It's actually quite good, and I'm using it here with Special Fighter. Using it with Wary Fighter is actually very, very strong as well, because it stops the opponent's follow-ups while also not having the adverse effect of stopping his follow-ups because of Garm's effect. Garm has half null follow-up in it, so he can get off the Garm effect without, you know, having to worry about the negative effects of Wary Fighter. Definitely, I still think Special Fighter is really good, but I think that Wary Fighter is even better. Now, Innes will take out Sigurd here for us, and then we can just get out of the way, essentially, and let Ephraim play cleanup. Ephraim is more than thick enough to handle this. He has lots of healing between Garm and Noontime, so not a problem for him at all. And then we can just tap down this Lance Flyer with Innes. I say tap down, and by that I mean we're going to do just a ton of damage to this Lance Flyer, 130 damage, poor guy. And that'll be an easy clear for that map, honestly. Alright, next up we have the Abyssal Eliwood, which is one of my least favorite legendary mythic battles. And then we're facing it with Awakening, right? So I hate this legendary slash mythic battle because they stacked it in such a way that all the units are receiving the bonus doubler buff from Eliwood. So they're all like really strong and really thick as long as Eliwood is alive. On the bright side, what you can do to help mitigate all that damage is you can actually run Chill Attack, because they do all have the same attack stat. So you're getting, no, I'm sorry, Chill Attack doesn't work until after Ephraim's dead, because Chill Attack doesn't work until after Eliwood is dead, because Eliwood does actually have the highest attack stat, but once Eliwood is dead, it makes it much easier to deal with overall. So that's helpful for sure.
Let's dance.
Okay, so the general gist of this is it's basically a double tank strategy, and then we're using Emmeryn here to heal up the tanks between Restore and Odd Recovery. So using those two things, we can really allow the units to continue to survive through lots of very, very strong engagement. So I definitely recommend a healer here if you're having struggles with this map. Using a healer is definitely a move that can be very, very helpful. We're gonna use Crom here to tank through this Lance Cav. Unfortunately, the Lance Cav does have a guard effect, so we can't one-round him with Deadeye, which is very unfortunate because then he's actually gonna get physicked up by this staff unit behind him. So the units kind of start charging down, and now we're kind of looking down the barrel of the gun a little bit here. Fortunately, Morgan does have Pulse Smoke, so Morgan can really neutralize Eliwood quite a bit. Eliwood has Blazing Wind? Blazing Light? One of the Blazing specials. So he can actually deal a great deal of damage on his initiation with his very, very high inflated attack stat. But we can just Pulse Smoke that away, and then also apply Attack Smoke from Morgan's Seal, which is going to double in effect because of Grima's Truth, right? So that's going to be super, super helpful. Crom is then going to chunk down this Lance Cav a little bit more and also charge up his Deadeye, which will be good. It's not really super necessary, but it is helpful. And then we can heal up with Emmeryn. Now, because a lot of these units have rallies and stuff, they actually end up body blocking quite a bit, which is actually helpful for this kind of funnily strat we're doing here, right? So we actually end up, that actually ends up being a net positive for us, as opposed to a detriment. It definitely could be a detriment. But luckily, the units rally and stack themselves in such a way that they can't really harm the squishier units we have in the form of Inigo and Emmeryn. So just the tanks take damage here, which is very, very nice for us. So next turn, we're going to have to deal with all these units, again, looking down the barrel a little bit here. Fortunately, we can take out this Manakete here, which is very, very nice, which is also going to apply Attack Smoke to a bunch of folks. And then we also get to one-shot the Sword Dragon very easily with Crom, because Blue Bow versus Flying Dragon is not exactly the best matchup. And Emmeryn can provide some chip damage onto Eliwood, which is helpful because that means the staff unit is going to heal instead of attacking. So that's quite nice here. So the staff unit will use the heal, the Axe Cav will rally, but then this Axe Cav is going to charge down instead of Eliwood, because this Axe Cav actually lives where Eliwood would have died. So that's actually positive for us in the end because of the way the units stack. Now this is kind of an interesting turn here, so we have Drive Attack on Emmeryn, because that's the only way that Morgan could secure this kill. So Morgan secures the kill here with Drive Attack support. Now we can use Change Fate to get Crom over to the other side here, or get Emmeryn over to the other side. Crom can then take out this blue Manakete, which is very, very nice for us, because the Shining Bow user behind actually has a speed bond, and so Emmeryn needs that Manakete to go away so that Emmeryn can actually do something to this Shining Bow user, because the Shining Bow user will kill Crom and it will kill Emmeryn. So Emmeryn actually needs to get the kill here, which he does. Good job. And then we can just wait out the enemy phase. Now, luckily, my Inigo actually has a Raven Tome equipped back from way back in the day when that was like the thing to do, I guess. It's just the way I had him built. So he actually does get to live against the Bowflyer here, which is, you know, very, very good for us. It's good news. And actually gets like some chip damage onto him as well, which is nice. Then we can take out the Axe Cav on the enemy phase. Now, Crom is going to deal with that red Manakete just fine, but we've got to figure out what we're going to do about the left side of the map. Or sorry, the right side of the map. So, Crom will take out him just fine. That's great. We could get Drive Attack support here from Emmeryn, or we could just enemy phase through it. And I believe I choose to just enemy phase all the way through it, if I remember correctly, but we will find out together. Oh, okay, no, so I'm actually going to use Emmeryn here to chip down the Bowflyer so that we can take him out in one round with Morgan, so Morgan doesn't take any damage. Not that it would have mattered, he was flashed anyway, but there were lots of options there. Emmeryn has good res, she has 34 res here, so she can more than withstand the hit from her staff friend here. No problem there at all, and she'll actually deal a good chunk of damage in return to her. Then Crom will be able to take out the red Manakete, and Morgan will be able to take out the Axe Cav at the beginning of the next turn. Axe Cavs are just, they have a lot of HP on this map. That's really it. That's what's really happening more than anything. So that's why they're so hard to kill, which is, you know, unfortunate. But yeah, Crom deals with the red Manakete super easy. We actually end up taking out the Axe Cav here. And there definitely was a way to finish it this turn in terms of using Crom to take out the staff unit. But instead, I decide to just retreat and let Morgan deal with it. I'm an enemy phase player more than anything else, so enemy phase is my home, it's where I live. Anyway, that'll bring the video to a close. Morgan will take out the cleric next turn. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give the video a like. Hit up the Discord. There's a link to the Discord in the description if you're not there already. Lots of great folks there. Until next time, guys, I will see you later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Still going. Bye.